Ooh, there was a big scary committee hearing today. Did you hear about it? No, I'm not playing you any clips from it. I'm not going to play you any clips from that sham January 6th hearing they had today with those lying, whiny cops and the lying, whiny congressman up there asking them questions. Did you see Adam Kinzinger even cried? And Adam Schiff cried and the cops were getting all emotional. I'm traumatized. Give me a freaking break. I'm not covering it because this is all a joke, and I'm embarrassed by the Republican response to this. The Republican response that they've decided on is, it was really terrible, but it was Nancy Pelosi's fault. Wake up. They don't care about January 6th. They don't care about people wandering into the Capitol. They don't care that anyone died on either side. Communists don't think like that. They don't care about things like that. They're using January 6th to mobilize the forces of government, and we're about to get to all these forces, to mobilize the forces of government into making you an enemy of the state. That's all this is. Anytime you see a single person bring up January 6th, that's what they're doing. Journalists, congressmen, whoever. When they bring it up, when they have these hearings, it's all about them convincing the world you're the enemy. That's what's happening here. And one last thing before I go on to all this other madness. Kinzinger crying, Schiff crying, cops out there. This was the worst day of my life. What happened to us as a society? We have a system, right? You know what the system is because you watch my show. And we have cultural institutions. And what is a culture? We use the word culture all the time. Culture this, culture that. We have a culture war. We have a culture problem. What is culture? Culture is not complicated. Culture is simply what your society chooses to incentivize and what it chooses to disincentivize. And your cultural institutions, they will ultimately be the ones who decide. The leadership of these institutions, they will decide what should be incentivized and what should be disincentivized in any nation. And when I say cultural institutions, remember, we're talking about religion and education and government and entertainment and all these things. They will determine. They are the leaders. They will determine. People will consume with their eyes and ears, and they will determine where people will go, what people will value, what they won't value. What you're seeing right now in America as we get to this idiot Army Major General, what you're seeing is they're all really worried about the right. All of our cultural leaders, they think you're the biggest threat to America right now. Wrap your mind around this. We have an Army Major General, Patrick Donahoe. He spent the day arguing with a college student from Hillsdale on Twitter and then bragging, public service announcement, block and report the Twitter trolls and disinformation tinfoil hat team. This is the same general who's been talking about, the Delta variant. Ooh, very, very scary. We're all going to die. Haven't you heard? Better wear that mask. Why do we have commanding generals talking about Delta variant and blocking people on Twitter? I don't know if you've heard, General, but there's this big country. It's over there in the east. If you see Japan, just look at Japan on a map and you just look kind of to the left. You'll see this big country right across the water there. That place is called China. You see, it's run by communist scumbags and they hate America. Their economy is now just as big as ours. Their military is getting just as big as ours. They're aggressively consuming everything they can and they're cyber hacking us every other day. But I understand. I don't want to take any time away from your Twitter time, General. Seriously, I know that's really important for a commanding general, but maybe the college students at Hillsdale, maybe we can save that battle for later. Maybe worry about the Chinese. Look, what do I know, though? It's just a thought. Just a thought. Go on, General. Facebook needs you to lead the charge. But it's not just the Army. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Oh, and don't think, by the way, it's just this general. You remember what that loser Mark Miley had to say.
I want to understand white rage, and I'm white, and I want to understand it. So what is it that caused thousands of people to assault this building and try to overturn the Constitution of the United States of America? What caused that? I want to find that out. I want to maintain an open mind here, and I do want to analyze it. It's important that we understand that because our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Guardians, they come from the American people. So it is important that the leaders, now and in the future, do understand it.
That's the chairman of the Joint Chiefs. Remember that China place I was just talking about? What do you think China thinks when they see our loser general class? What do you think goes through China's mind? I mean, it's bad enough they have to watch the President of the United States pudding and ducks and beavers. It's bad enough they have to watch the commander-in-chief not be able to hold a thought in his head. Our generals are just as bad. I want to understand white rage. You loser. Go retire somewhere. All of you are so embarrassing. But, you know, it's not just the military. Oh, big text all over it. PayPal is working with the Anti-Defamation League, the ADL, to collect information on and cut off financial flows so so-called extremists on the right can't make and distribute money. Now, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to think about, you can even reference it right now when you watch the show. I want you to think about your last 20 Twitter posts, Facebook posts, last 20 things you've put out there online. Do you think the Anti-Defamation League or the cultural Marxists who run PayPal, do you think they would look at those things you're putting out there and consider those views to be extremist? How much vaccine stuff you have on there? Anything about wearing a mask? Are you denying white supremacy in America? None of these are taking place on your social media page, right? I want you to understand. They think you're the extremist. These people are all mobilizing against you. It is that bad. I wish I could put a pretty picture on it. I can't. It's this bad. The DOJ is worried about you, all while dropping charges against murderous Governor Andrew Cuomo of New York. Wow, it's just 15,000 dead seniors. Forget about that. Does anyone have a whitey we can hunt down out there? Definitely has to be someone on the right. Anyone with a MAGA hat? Let's go after him. What am I supposed to do? The Department of Justice, time and time again. Oh, you know what else they did? I love this. They dropped charges on the researchers that were tied to the Chinese government. 5 people, they were in America. They hid their involvement in the Chinese government and Chinese military. The DOJ that's going after you, they dropped the charges. No, they're not worried about nursing home deaths. They're worried about dropping charges on Chinese spies who were here picking up secrets. What secrets do you think they were here picking up? Don't forget, Donald Trump, during his presidency, had to close the Chinese consulate right in my hometown of Houston because the Chinese were spying so aggressively from it. The Chinese are here, and they're after us, and the left is only worried about you. Hey, thanks so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me. Like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me.